Welcome, welcome. Mentalism, correspondence, vibration, polarity, rhythm, cause and effect, gender. Countdown initiated. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome, everyone. We are live, and it is Friday. Yes, it is. Listen, your girl is tired, okay? But that being said, make sense from nonsense. That's the title today. That is something my grandfather used to say to me. He said, you got to be able to make sense from nonsense. Make sense from nonsense. Meaning that when you hear or read or encounter something that you think is nonsense, don't judge it. Learn something from it because there's a message in it, eh? There's something in it that you need to know. You might think it's nonsense, but the person who is saying it, well, they know what they're telling you. You know how we speak in code? Eh? That seems to be nonsense, doesn't it? The speaking code seems like nonsense. It really does. But if you understand what is being said in the code, if you understand the coded message, but then it isn't nonsense, is it? Wow. So make sense from nonsense. Let us begin. A lot of people ask me, Angela, why do you use the Bible? Wasn't that used to indoctrinate humanity? Make sense from nonsense. How many times have you heard a song and you're like, what does he mean by that? And they speak in code in their songs. They use metaphors in their songs, which seem to be nonsense. Yes? So let's use a scripture. Let me flip there. Hold on. This one is Matthew 24, verse 42. Therefore, keep watch, because you do not know on what day your Lord will come. Keep watch, because you do not know on what day your Lord will come. Pardon me. So when you hear keep watch, for you do not know what day your Lord will come. For the person who interprets that as Jesus or scripture of the second coming, some people interpret it as such. But when you are told, therefore, keep watch, what are you supposed to watch over? Watch over your thoughts and your mood. Why? Because from that mood, you create your experiences. Pardon me, I'm going to stop saying create. From your mood, your mental attitude, you give birth to your experiences. So when you are told, therefore, to keep watch, because you do not know on what day your Lord will come, means you don't know when that experience is going to show up in the world. You don't know. Every day that you engage habitually in a particular line of thinking, every day that you engage in a particular type of mood, you are bringing about your Lord. That's what you're doing. That's what you're doing. So then you're told to keep watch. You keep watch over your thoughts and your moods. Angela, that is so far-fetched. That is why one learns to make sense from nonsense. How many songs have you heard? How many stories have you heard? Hmm? We've heard of Beauty and the Beast. We heard of Snow White. We heard of Cinderella. We've heard of Cinderella. And some people realize that they have wicked stepmothers and they're like the pretty stepdaughter who she grudges, and they see themselves in that story. They don't walk around saying, well, I don't know when that story happened. I don't think that story is real. Oh, wait, let me end my existence because of that story. They don't do those things. They see themselves in the story. So, which story in the Bible do you see yourself in? It is just a story in which we judge. We judge one another depending on which story we believe in. But if you notice something about humanity, we may believe in the story, but we don't apply the story. We believe in the story, but we do not apply the story. It is a metaphor. Sometimes it seems like absolute nonsense. But if you learn how to interpret the sense out of nonsense, do you grasp what that means? It means where in there did something resonate with you that you can apply it to your life? You notice how humanity mostly uh they mostly play out the negative portions. Oh, oh yes. Well, they know how to interpret those ones. And they do so physiologically, meaning they do so with themselves instead of doing it mentally. Every single time I hear the scripture that says to me, do not grow weary in doing good. At first, that seems like nonsense. What do you mean, don't grow weary in doing good? Because if you do, it depends on where you do the good from. What mental attitude are you doing the good from? If your mental attitude is to please another because of fear of abandonment or rejection, well, then you will grow weary in no time at all. Let that person not call you. Oh, let that person not go out with you. So then I tell you, the true saying is pick sense from nonsense. To pick out the sense. Pick out what is valuable. And you throw away the rest. So today, my beautiful friends, when you hear scripture, that is not your cue to get your back up against the wall. Use it for what it is. That's what it's telling you. You simply read it. And then you ask yourself, how do I relate to that? Well, when you hear, take, this is my body and eat it. Take, drink, this is my blood. Well, that seems to be nonsense. It seems to be nonsense. But if you learn how to make sense from nonsense, take my body and eat it. See, when you take on the traits of someone, you are embodying them. So all they're saying is, who are you embodying? Who are you modeling yourself after? It doesn't mean to become a cannibal. This is why you make sense from nonsense. Where can you apply these things in your life? Instead of judging the story, it is only a story. Listen. If I wanted to encrypt a message, I would tell it to you in a story format. Look at what humanity does. All of humanity's songs. Well, there are some of them that are blatantly obvious. They don't even mask it. They don't even hide it. They tell you my booty what and my butt what. You know what? I'm done. There's no art of playing with the words anymore. So that it can come out to the listener like, what? That doesn't make any sense. What he really trying to say here? I got me a new song that I'm loving. And if you hear the symbolism in the song, you're going to tell somebody that they're like a little white church on the corner of Mississippi. A front porch light that feels like home. Listen to it. Sometimes it seems like it's nonsense. 1, 2, skip to my loo. 3, 4, shut the door. Yeah. Seems like nonsense. But they're telling you something in there. And the moment that we get our backs up and we say, and we argue, trying to defend, it wasn't put there for you to defend it. It was put there for you to make sense from the nonsense. But because we get so caught up in whose God is real and whose God is not real. Can men submit? Do women submit? We're missing the whole meaning of existence. Because we are taking the nonsense and trying to apply it. When you comprehend the nonsense, it becomes sense to you so that you can apply it. Barbados has a lot of sayings. We ain't catching past you. Well, I am speaking English, don't worry. What hasn't caught you doesn't mean it's past you, right? So because it didn't happen to you doesn't mean it can't happen to you. Or night is run till day catch it. And you're like, what? What do you mean night runs until day catches it? Day always becomes night, night always becomes day. Which is telling you you can't outrun the night and you can't outrun the day. You can hide and buy land, but you can't hide and work it. Seems like nonsense. But if you learn to comprehend the nonsense, it becomes sense. But what do? See, we judge the nonsense instead of interpreting it. Thereby, we miss many things. So that when you hear, therefore keep watch, for you do not know when your Lord will come. You're like, huh? What Lord? When in actuality is telling you, keep watch over your moods. Because when you keep watch over your moods, you will know what is coming. You won't know when, but you know what. So if your mood is one of peacefulness and you persevere in that, you persist in that peacefulness, you don't know when you will encounter it on the exterior. You don't know. All you know is that you will experience it on the outside because it is the inside that reflects. It is the inside that casts the shadow. So today, make sense from nonsense. Right? When we call it wit, I guess. You know, you're witty. The Mighty Gabby has incredibly witty lyrics. Listen, he incited an entire population to go to the beach when the government was trying to ban Bajans from going to the beach. Talking about we need to privatize beaches. If you live on the waterfront, then you own that piece. Nonsense. Putting up a fence so that nobody who lives there can go to the beach anymore. How are you gonna come and find the planet and lay ownership to it? You don't know how it got here. Right? So he incited a whole island to get up and say, we're going to the beach. But in his song was pretty obvious. His song was obvious. It was so obvious, yet it seemed like nonsense when you were singing it. The beach is mine, I could bet any time. In spite of what he said, I can bet anyway. It just seems like nonsense. But to the listener who interpreted the sense from it, this is why the government banned his music off the radio. Because they knew, well, for anybody who's really listened to this song, that's going to be trouble for us. So they banned it so nobody could hear it. What other songs do you know? What other songs do you know? If you listen to them, you will hear the lyrics. Sometimes the lyrics are so, right? Are so coded with metaphor that if just the average person is listening, you would say, well, that's nonsense. But for the one who pays attention, for the one who watches, you'll see what's happening. You will see what is happening. So when you hear, don't put your lamp under a bushel, put it on top of the hill, you would say, well, duh. Of course, I'm going to put my lamp on top of the hill. That's what you would say if you got stuck at lamp. Clearly, nobody puts a lamp in the bushes. Right? So they must be telling you something to get you to listen. This seems like nonsense. Look at how many things are overlooked because we say, oh, but the Bible. And some people will argue you that the Bible is nonsense. The Bible is a tool to indoctrinate. Yes, so what? It is actually, if you use it correctly, instead of projecting outward what that stuff says, what does it do to you if you apply it psychologically? When you hear do not grow weary in doing good, it doesn't mean to allow yourself to be a doormat. Oh, heavens, no. Because that is the fastest way to be worn out. So it can't be telling you to be a doormat. What is it telling you? And it doesn't tell you to suffer either. When you hear count it all joy, well, that sounds like nonsense. Well, how am I supposed to count these tragedies as joy? That doesn't make any sense. Oh, but if you know how to interpret the nonsense, you can do what? Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Do not grow weary in doing good. Do not grow weary in doing good. And then you ask yourself, but what is good? You don't grow weary in it. Why not? Because you know the outcome of applying the principles deliberately. To summarize how the principles work, you reap what you have sown.